All right, something bizarre is going on. What in the world? I think we're live, but the thing is acting up. It shouldn't have started already, and the screen's minimizing. Let me make sure we are live here, and if we are, we will just move right ahead. We gotta be. It says we're live. I don't see anything going on in the chat, though. Okay, I think we're live. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Haven't been able to do a stream the last few days, but have been keeping up with the news on GematriaEffectNews. And the big news story so far today, June 8th, 6/8, a lot of major websites went down, and they're saying the reason is I don't understand if they're a service provider, but they're called Fastly. A lot of these websites run through Fastly. It says it optimizes and improves the performance of the websites, but this Fastly had a glitch, and it took down a lot of major sites today. I noticed right away, Fastly has the gematria of 79, like Society of Jesus, big number with the Jesuits and their rituals. And remember, it's the same Jesuits that are simulating the power going down, the internet going down, cyber attacks. And it's very obvious that right now we are being tampered with in so many ways. It's like our minds are being prepped for total chaos and disaster. And I guess everyone should see that. I mean, how many more years of Hollywood predictive programming do we need for the apocalyptic future? But all these little stories is building up day after day. And again, in all the years I've been doing this, I never remember Amazon's website going down. Even Amazon went down today. But Fastly has that gematria of 79, like Society of Jesus. It should remind you that the coronavirus pandemic was declared on the 79th day of Anthony Fauci being 79 years old, which was March 11th, 2020. And of course, he's the good little Jesuit centerpiece for the pandemic. I also noticed that today was 48 weeks from the cyber polygon hacking simulations where all sorts of things go down. Internet is 48, and it's possible that later today they say that this was a hack as well. We'll see. We'll see. But again, we had a date circled for weather warfare, for strange weather earth phenomenon. That was June 5th, 2021. We were expecting flooding. We saw flooding in Texas, Louisiana, Sri Lanka. There were likely other places, but all these places got hit with flash flooding. Again, June 5th, 2021 had the 52-date numerology. We're talking about the same patterns every month on the 52 dates. June 25th, later this month, will also have 52-date numerology. Then there'll be July 4th and July 24th and August 3rd and August 23rd. And August 3rd should be right because flood is 52 forwards, 83 in reverse. Remember, March 8th had that 52-date numerology. That date could also be written 8-3. Hawaii got the bad flooding on March 8th. But on this 52 date, you had flooding throughout the world. And you also had a bunch of bizarre small earthquakes in California. And again, the thing is, like, somebody might come and go, well, flooding happens all over the world. But again, okay, you can just throw out your argument because month after month, these are the day hurricanes land on, cyclones land on, surprise flash flooding, headlines like this. Everything is bigger in Texas, but these rainfall totals are supersized. And realize that's on June 5th. Again, you guys, the military has admitted to weather warfare since 1952. And that's how we caught on to the 52 pattern with weather many years ago and just been documenting it ever since. Also, June 5th can be written 5/6 like 56 and natural disasters 56. And again, this name Enlil up here, that's the Babylonian god of storms. And other researchers caught on to that a while back. Rambo did a really good decode with more on Enlil earlier this year. But no doubt about it, you know, that's what's going on. And just the way they mock with the headlines, too. On June 5th, the U.S. headline for the Sri Lanka flooding was 6 killed, 5 missing. And it's just like, I'm sure those are the real totals. Thanks, mainstream news. The 6-5 on 6-5. But also, there were earthquakes all over the place on Saturday in California, a lot of small earthquakes. And I think on Saturday they said there were over 150. And then over the weekend they said that there was a course of over 600. But again, on the same date, where we always say to watch for the strange weather earth phenomenon, month after month, the exact same thing. And quite frankly, I'm bored of reporting about this. I'm bored of the world not caring about what's really going on. And yeah. Okay, so for more news by the numbers, June 7th, Barack Obama front and center. He does a special with Anderson Cooper 360. And one of the questions should have been, hey, Obama, how do you like being the token Negro by the numbers? Do you like doing your token Negro interview today on 7-6? And again, that's what it is, you guys. This is the token Negro interview on 7-6. Obama telling all the, black families why it's important to have a dad around. This is all just mockery by the numbers. But Barack Obama 76, we've talked about it a million times before. Negro, slave, blues, Rasta, they all equal 76. The Million Man March on the day, leaving 76 days left in the year. Obama just put out his book, A Promised Land, which equals 76. So, of course, CNN's got to do the special interview on 7-6. And notice, from Obama's August 4th birthday to the interview was exactly the start of his 44th week of his age, number 44. And remember what they just did with his A Promised Land book. In case you forgot, it came out November 17th, the day leaving 44 days left in the year. A Promised Land, 76, like Barack Obama, like Skull and Bones as well. He followed the Skull and Bones president, George W. Bush. And notice his book came out in a leap year, so it was the 322nd day of the year. 322, the number of Skull and Bones. And there's more I could say about this, but again, just Abraham equals 44. Like Obama was number 44. Abraham from the Bible, a promised land, biblical rituals, biblical riddles. And of course, Obama ran on 44. But the other thing was Obama was 59 years old at the time, and the book came out 106 days after his birthday. Blacks 106, Black Lives Matter 56 106. He was the winner of the 56th U.S. presidential election. His re-election was the 57th election, but first one was number 56. Just like Kamala Harris takes the White House as the VP at age 56, the first female, but also the first black female, or I guess there's never been black person, period, to be in the Oval Office. No, I take it back. Obama was the first, and then Kamala's number 2, but she's also the first female, but you got that 56 connection, which is the big Jesuit number. And again, prophecies 106, the Black Lives Matter phrases, I can't breathe 106. But notice, Obama's 59 while this book comes out. Forward, slave is 59 and reverse 76, just like Negro, just like Rasta, just like Blues. His Secret Service name, Renegade. His presidential name, Barack Obama. So what do you know? Another almost identical ritual on the date that can be written 7-6. On the 44th week of his age, he's front and center. And again, to me, this is just proof of how they created the character Barack Obama, because I doubt his real name is Barack Hussein Obama. Remember, that's just more mockery for the sleeping sheeple. After all this fear and propaganda about Osama bin Laden and Muslims, we get the first Muslim to name President Barack Hussein Obama, and then Osama's dead exactly 119 weeks after Obama takes office, like the September 11th date, 119, as it's written in the majority of the world, 11/9. But again, this is probably just how they create the character name. Okay, August 4th is a perfect birthday for multiple reasons, but notice how 44 weeks from his birthday to this date that's 7-6. I mean, all this stuff's planned out. What I need to do is go back and look at Obama's presidency and look at what he did each year on June 7th when he was on office. I'm sure there was a ritual there every year. But, yeah. So. Oh, yeah. And then In this article, they mentioned down here, the clearest example of this, Obama said, was the January 6th insurrection and how there are now large portions of an elected Congress going along with the falsehood that there were problems with the election. The insurrection at the U.S. Capitol by Trump supporters came on the same day that 147 Republican lawmakers voted not to certify Joe Biden's. Anyway, 147, again, the phrase U.S. President's 147, President of the United States is 147, 147 windows on the White House, conspiracy 147. Again, just everything, numerical ritual. And again, why we can't get the rest of the truth community to help clue in their followers to any of this stuff, I don't know. But again, there's nothing else that proves what kind of puppets these people are outside of this knowledge. And again, did anybody else in the truth community nail everything about the Capitol insurrection before it happened? Because we did. YouTube had to take down our videos, of course. You know, they can't leave up the proof of how we see through the scripted future. But anyway, Puppet Obama back in the news by the numbers. And again, it was obvious he was a puppet. It should be obvious to everyone that all these politicians are puppets. I didn't know Gematria back when he was running for office, but I was just telling people what an obvious load it was. You know, just Barack Hussein Obama in the time of the fear-mongering of Osama, just alone. I mean, just like, how do you not see it? They just treat us like we're stupid, man. And we are. Apparently, we are. But anyhow, also in the headlines, bigger than QAnon, Democrats can't ignore the GOP's holy war. And this was posted by MSNBC yesterday. And in the article, as you read along, notice they say 50% of Republicans do. And they're saying 56% of Republicans think that the election was stolen from Trump and see a holy war coming. And realize, I mean, it's not a Republican-Democrat thing, but it's... Well, okay, here. How do we break this down? The first piece, just 56. Just 56 again. I mean, remember all the 56s? Trump's first impeachment to his second impeachment was exactly 56 weeks. At that time, Biden asked for 56 of Trump's appointed judges to step down. There were polls that 56% of America wanted to see Trump removed from office through the impeachment. And on top of the million other 56s that were going on. 2020 was 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began. Biden from Jesuit Scranton. Again, Washington, D.C. and Society of Jesus are 56. And then there's also the biblical connection, like King James Bible's 56, which so many Christians prefer, which I don't understand why. It's like, why do they think the truest version is this old English style Bible when, you know, Hebrew and Greek and Aramaic, which the Bible was written in, are not Old English, so I don't know why this Old English Shakespeare feel makes you think it's the real deal. But anyway, it is a biblical number through the King James Bible, which is big with the Masons, which is tied in with the Jesuits. And again, QAnon's a big Jesuit psyop. Remember, QAnon's got the 201, the big Jesuit number. We'll be talking more about 201 in a second in case you forget. But yeah, all throughout history, just the same old numbers. You know, the holy war that was ignited on 9/11. The planes that supposedly hit targets, 11 and 175 in New York and 77 in D.C. You add it up, it's 263. The flight number's 11 plus 175 plus 77, 263. That's the 56th prime. Remember, Abrahamic's 56, the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. With regards to this, you know, more division among the Abrahamic religions, World War II. They say the last surviving liberator of Auschwitz died. This news broke yesterday, but they say he died Saturday, June 5th. Date that can be written 5/6. Remember, Adolf Hitler's 56. Supposedly he died at 56. Remember when Trump was first elected, the rumors that he was carrying around Mein Kampf, the Hitler-related text. Then he goes out of office 56 years after his Jesuit education begins. Trump, another puppet. But yeah, just the ongoing 56 show and how it's used all throughout history in the divide and conquer rituals. One of the biggest ones going right now, Black Lives Matter 56. Last year on June 5th, they painted the streets of D.C. Black Lives Matter. That was the anniversary of the death of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan 56. Ronald Reagan, the 33rd governor of California, the movie star, Hollywood 33. Okay, but also just yesterday, June 7th, the date that can be written 7/6, new Alzheimer's drug approved by the FDA, first Alzheimer's drug approved in about 20 years, they said. Alzheimer's drug 76, approved on the date that can be written 7/6. Again, we've seen the FDA do so many drug approvals, drug-related news by the numbers over the years. It just goes to show with the pandemic and all the vaccine stuff, what more do we need to document? It just goes to show all this stuff is nothing but ritual. It's not like the research was finally done, the piece of paper finally got to the right person's desk. No, it's that all this stuff is a ritual. And that should tell everybody everything. That we're just living out, rituals. And that's what people need to understand about the world. The world is controlled by rituals. It's not controlled the way you think it is. It's not controlled because this amount of people voted for this person and this amount voted for this person. No. This person's chosen because they were the chosen one for the ritual. This sports team didn't win because they're the best sports team. They won because of the ritual. Yesterday, Kevin Durant equals 158. It was the 158th day of the year. Kevin Durant's team dominated, with Kevin Durant dominating the game the most, as anticipated. And his team became 6-1 in the playoffs. Kevin 61, And also his team picked up their 54th win of the season yesterday, 251 days after his birthday, the 54th prime. Again, from sports to news to elections, you start to look around. You're like, okay, Barack Obama's some kind of political thoroughbred. Kevin Durant's some kind of basketball thoroughbred. They have these guys' entire careers mapped out. It's the same stuff year after year. These perfect rituals. So here's Jeff Bezos, who we've been explaining is just the biggest Jesuit puppet there is out there. Looks like he's from outer space. Now he says he's returning there. But Jeff Bezos, he's going to outer space on July 20th, what'll be the 52-year anniversary of the moon landing. And remember, I don't know why, I guess I've written it out so many times, I just don't even feel like I need to finish writing it out anymore. This is supposed to say equals 201. But July 20th, the day Jeff Bezos is going to space, the 201st day of the year, the anniversary of the moon landing. Remember, Neil Alden Armstrong is 201, the man who supposedly set foot on the moon first. But on the 52-year anniversary, technology's 52, Amazon's the big tech company. This news came on June 7th, 6-7, like 67, the 19th prime. Seattle's 19, he's the big Seattle billionaire. And Bezos is 57 years old right now. Notice they got to say he's worth $187 billion at the time of this article. Society of Jesus 187, the Jesuit Order 201, they're the same thing. That he's 57. Remember, moon, conspiracy, outer space, they're all 57. So he's gonna travel to space on the anniversary of the moon landing while he's age 57. This news broke on the 158th day of the year as well. And here, let me just pull up the Gematria calculator. If you write out Blue Origin, you see how it's 58, 158, 59. The 112 is interesting. The Jesuits operate in 112 countries. Bezos' birthday is January 12th. But the 58, 158, 59, the news broke on the 158th day of the year. And notice how Freemasonry is the exact same. 58, 158, 59. And again, Kevin Durant, 158. You notice Arizona was burning yesterday as the Suns improved to 7-3 all-time against Denver. And again, for those of you guys who just code sports, it's usually just right here in the ciphers on the two left. Suns become 7-3 in the playoffs against Denver all-time. And again, just to give you guys a lesson, had the Nuggets won, they would have fallen to 6-4, but you see how Denver Nuggets is 64 on the right side? Sometimes the right side outplays the left cipher in sports decodes, but not very often. It's usually the left side, the same two ciphers we studied from the beginning. But Suns became 7-3 versus Denver yesterday. They also got their 56th win of the season, and the Suns are the only true team with the 56 connection. The coach became 5-2 in the playoffs with Phoenix. So, again, from sports to news, it's all the same, you guys. It's all scripted. It's all crap. And, again, the reason to script it all this way is to control it all, to make sure that you're in total control, you know? It's all about control. You want to know how the casino always wins? Here's how. Here's how the casino always wins. Because the games are rigged. If the games weren't always rigged, how would the casino always win? Should be 50-50, right? Or it shouldn't even be 50-50. That's not even true. If the games weren't rigged, the gamblers would win because the gamblers pay attention to the games. The gamblers know who are supposedly the best players, the matchups. And, sports aren't rocket science. It's just like my nephew the other day. He got his ass kicked in basketball for the last game of the season because they had to play the best team in the state at their age. And they had a really good season, but they had to play the best team in the state, and they got humiliated. They even had to turn off the scoreboard. I guess the score was something like 80-something to 8. They weren't even in double digits, and the other team had 80-some points because the other team's the best team. In March Madness, the other year when the 16 seed beat the 1 seed, that was the 136th all-time meeting between a 16 and a 1. That's the 16th triangular number. The game was on March 16th. In real life, there's no way a team that's sending all these players to the NBA is going to lose to a 16 seed that it's like almost on a community college level. But they beat them because it's all rigged and scripted. It's a ritual. In the 136th meeting, the 16th triangular number, the first time ever a 16 beats a 1 on March 16th. You see? This is how it is. If that game were real, if it wasn't rigged, and notice, that was also the reason we said Virginia would win the championship the next year, which they did. We said that was their humiliation shaming ritual, going down as the 1 seed to a 16. Then the next year they come back and win the championship. Again, just all this stuff is scripted, ritualistic crap. And again, that's why you're hearing about Blue Origin on the 158th day of the year, and Jeff Bezos, the Jesuit pawn's going to go to the moon on the anniversary. Or not to the moon, but to space on the anniversary of the moon landing. So, okay. You know what else? It said that'll be 15 days after he retires. Right in the article, it says right there. He'll go there 15 days after he retires, at age 57, in the year 21. And then you see how Moon is 57, 21, 15? See how Moon's 57 and 51, just like Conspiracy? Area 51. Okay, so as we know, the alien talk is everywhere right now. NASA, the NASA new chief said that they're going to start taking a really hard look at UFOs on June 3rd. He said this Thursday, June 3rd. That date can be written 3-6. Remember, 666 is the 36th triangular number. NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And that phrase is 666. Okay. And then Prince Harry and Meghan Markle welcome a baby girl, their second child. We've been talking about, the number of the beast rituals with Meghan Markle nonstop ever since the engagement was announced. This news broke on 6-6, number of the beast 66. But look. Number of the beast is 66. The news breaks 6-6. The baby girl was supposedly born June 4th, but the news still broke on 6-6, Sunday. And remember, Meghan Markle's name is 216. Harry, Prince of Wales, is 216. Her birthday's August 4th, like Obama's, the 216th day of the year. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. We talked about how earlier this year it was put out, the news story, that they were relatives, Meghan and Harry. Relatives has the 666 gematria. Remember, they made the big headlines with Oprah. That news was on the 66th day of the year, March 7th, them talking about racism in the royal family. That was the 66th day of the year. Now they're back in the news as the top headline on 6-6. And the little girl's name, the way they spell it in the article, including the nickname, Lilibet Lily Diana Mountain Bond Windsor, 216. Same number that we talk about with Meghan Markle every single time. So the little girl's name, including her nickname, is 216, just like the mom's name, who's born on the 216th day of the year, just like the dad's title. Again, could it be any more obvious that they're paying tribute to the number of the beast? And they said the girl was born on June 4th. That day can be written 6-4 or 4-6. In the case of 4-6, the word girl equals 46. And the news broke 46 days after Queen Elizabeth's birthday. And the first baby, Archie, was born on May 6th, 5-6, royal family's 56. In this case, the second baby was born on the 263rd day of Harry's age, which is the 56th prime number. And he is 36 years old right now. 666 is the 36th triangular number. So, again, I mean, ever since the engagement, the very first thing I zeroed in on with Meghan Markle was the number of the beast thing and the 216 thing. And again, there's just been so many examples since. And notice, just take a look at how CNN's front page was that day. What else was up on the front page is the CDC's COVID-19 vaccination card. And is this a surprise that it's up there on the number of the beast day? Again, this is 6-6, number of the beast 66, vaccination 666, the Clade X simulation 666 days before the pandemic was declared, a simulation that's focused on rushing out vaccines. All the number of the beast stuff with Bill Gates, who's the face of vaccines. Remember, William Henry Gates equals 258, like number of the beast equals 258. He set up his vaccine alliance, Gavi, on July 12th, 1999, his 258th day of his age. And last year, 2020, his dad died on the 258th day of the year. But, again, the CDC in the headlines, the new vaccination cards on the number of the beast day. Again, you got to accept the mark in Revelation if you want to be able to buy or sell. And a lot of places are saying, hey, you want to do this, you got to have your vaccine. You saw about the concert thing last week, where if you don't have your vaccine, the price is $999, $999, which is 666 flipped upside down. But if you had your vaccine, it was only $18, the ticket concert, or the concert ticket. And again, just yesterday in the news, supposedly the federal government recovered the crypto payments to the dark side hackers that hacked the Colonial Pipeline. I mean, just what a load of shit. Like we said from the beginning, it was synced up with the Jesuit simulation of the cyber attack. It had the Jesuit numbers all over it. The Jesuit-controlled feds now supposedly recovered the funds on June 7th, 2021, a date with 54 numerology. Again, big number in D.C., 54. Jesuit Order 54, John Carroll 54, who established the first Jesuit university there, Georgetown, while he was 54 years old. Again, it just goes to show it's all Jesuit ritual. There is no dark side hackers, other than maybe that's a new name for the Catholic Church. Remember, dark side is the same as Catholic. The Jesuits served the Catholic Church. All of this is just crap. It's just all ritual. It's all ritual by the numbers. Giving us all these storylines to make us think they're just prepping us for their truly planned catastrophe, the one that Janet Napolitano warned about in 2013, the one that they just had a headline about the other day that I just talked about. In the world of golf, on June 5th, this Saturday, Jon Rahm was leading the PGA tournament, but then he had to drop out due to coronavirus. So the date could be written 5-6, coronavirus 56. Society of Jesus, 56 forward, 79 in reverse. Jon Rahm, 79. And they said he had a 6-stroke cushion. He should have been standing 6 feet apart from his caddy. All the sixes all over. Simulated 666 days before the pandemic was declared was Clade X. Again, that was May 15, 2018. 2 years to the day of Operation Warp Speed. 3 years to the day of vaccine saves being posted on Christ the Redeemer statue. His birth name, Jon Rahm, is John Rahm Rodriguez, which has the same gematria as Jesuit order in 3 out of the 4 ciphers, 54, 144, and 153. So I'm sure there'll be payback for Jon Rahm. I'm sure he's paying it forward. He had to give up this tournament with the lead for the coronavirus ritual. I'm sure a big tournament's going to go his way in the not-too-distant future. The man who won the Masters last year, he supposedly had coronavirus by the numbers. His name was also 56. And I confuse all the golfers' names. It's funny, we even had that guy called to win the Masters 2 years ago, and I can't even think of his name. Is it Dustin Johnson? Hold on, is it Dustin Johnson? It is Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson had the coronavirus by the numbers, and yeah, he did win the Masters after that, so we'll have to keep an eye on Jon Rahm paying it forward for one of these big tournaments, no doubt about it. Okay. In California, the big news, the San Diego-based judge Roger Benitez overturned the assault weapons ban that had been in place in California since '89, so 32 years later. And, of course, there's the 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo, America's 32. But the judge said that, one is to be forgiven if one is persuaded by news media and others that the nation is awash with murderous AR-15 assault rifles. The facts, however, do not support this hyperbole, and facts matter. And that's a very true statement. And, but at the same time, it's just like, if you read all along, he gave the appeal time a big, huge window, so no doubt there'll be an appeal, and this will be a big story in California. And really, ultimately, all it is more divide and conquer ritual. There's people in this country that love guns, and there's people that hate guns. And there's a lot of people that are just completely ignorant and don't understand that, nations that are disarmed, they are a lot more susceptible to tyranny. One could argue here that, the U.S. is full of guns, and we've totally been overtaken by tyranny, and the people with the guns, they'd probably be more likely to shoot the people going against the tyrants than the tyrants themselves. So, we're in a difficult spot, but again, it's never been a good thing for nations that are disarmed in terms of rights and liberties. So, anyhow, just looks like more divide and conquer. This decision was made on June 4th, a date that can be written 4-6, like 46, chaos 46, ordo ab chao, the Latin for order out of chaos 46, Roger Benitez, his name, Gematria 144 and 72, just like President Biden, just like Jesuit order. Of course, Biden's on the other side of that. Biden wants another assault weapons ban, so this is a direct contradiction to the president. And of course, California went for Biden. So we'll see where this goes. The judge compared an AR-15 to a Swiss Army knife, and again, the point he's making is you could kill somebody with a Swiss Army knife. Just because people have Swiss Army knives, does it turn them into murderers? Which is a fair argument, but then the other person will say, well, with a Swiss Army knife, you can't shoot somebody from a football field away. You can't stab somebody from a football field away. So the judge's name, his full name, is also interesting. It's got the 94, like Roman Catholic Church. It's got the T266, like Jesus Hominum Salvator, the Jesuit motto, Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, the 266th Pope. It's got the 95, like the Jesuits created to counter the 95 theses. Counter the 95 theses, Fauci 95. And yeah, so again, it looks like another ritualistic story. 32 years on the order out of chaos dates, and it will be interesting to see what the decision is. If that'd be a big boost for gun sales if you could legally buy AR-15s in California, a huge market. But yeah, we'll see. One more thing for people to get worked up and fight over. Okay, and then Lil Durk. We were just talking about Lil Durk the other day. There was a death in the world of hip-hop, and it was connected to Lil Durk. And I said, man, it seems like every hip-hop death for like the last 6 months, maybe up to a year, has been all connected to Lil Durk. Well, days later, Lil Durk's brother's dead. And his brother's hip-hop name is D-Thang. I don't know who'd want the name Lil Durk or D-Thang, but anyway. This news broke on June 7th, a date that can be written 6-7, like blood sacrifice, like human sacrifice, like satanic. The death was actually from the day prior, though, June 6th, which was the 7-month anniversary of the death of King Von, a death that we saw coming before it happened. And that death was also connected to Lil Durk. But it was on 6-6, and LeBron is out of the finals right now, but his NBA career is not over. Remember, the King Von death was connected to LeBron. This seems to be connected to the King Von death, so I guess probably a connection with LeBron. But LeBron 66, like LeBron James, like Lakers, like Bulls. Lil Durk's a Chicago rapper. 6'6" killing. More importantly, from his birthday to the death was his 33rd week of his age. Lil Durk's 33 in the most pure cipher. Notice also the 231 days. That's the 21st triangular number, and the death was on a Sunday. Sunday's 21 and 33. D-Thang has Gematria 54 like Jesuit order. He was killed in Harvey. Harvey has the Gematria 79 like Society of Jesus. Jesuit 21. The Catholic Day Sunday. They say the club he was killed at, his brother, was at the address 17038. What's that rapper's name? Fetty Wap? Fetty Wap? Doesn't he say 1738 at the beginning of the song? We've talked about this before because rap is 17, rapper is 38, kill is 17, killing is 38, murder's 38, RIP's 38, death's 38. And Harvey, the town he was killed in, has gematria of murder in 3 out of the 4 ciphers, 79, 34, 83. Rappers also got that 34 in it. But, yeah, Lil Durk, I mean, and again, I'm going to team up here with Jonathan in the very near future, and he'll have a lot more on this. You know what? Neo the Hacker left a comment down here. He took it even further. He said, D-Thang died 6'6", and his brother, Lil Durk's group, is called Only the Family, which is 66. That makes sense. 66, the 11th triangular number. Their surname is Banks, which is 11. Died on a 53-date numerology. Club O, where he died equals 53. Died on a 17-date numerology. Club O is also 17, like rap, like kill. Yeah, Lil Durk's 28. Kill's also 28. He died 101 days before his upcoming birthday. And Durk Banks, which is Lil Durk's real name, is 101. So, I think Kevin says another killing on May 21st, Zyquan Gulati. Okay. Well, it looks like you already got the decode on that one. But that was a date with 67 numerology as well, the blood sacrifice number. Policeman's another... Is it policeman or is it police officer? Maybe it's police officer. Police officer. Yeah, police officer 67. So, it says in the story that a person in Houston walked up to a police officer and said, "Shoot me." Okay. Yeah, just more and more crap by the numbers, man. It's just... Okay, and then also in the news today, Jim Fassel, former NFL coach for the New York Giants, went to the Super Bowl right before 9/11 and lost to the Ravens. He's dead at 71. New York Giants is 71. He died today, he died yesterday, June 7th. Date can be written 6/7 like 67. Blood sacrifice, human sacrifice, 67. He died 85 days before his upcoming August 31st birthday, Jim Fassel, National Football League's 85. Just same patterns again and again. If you counted the span of days, it would be 86. He would have died a span of 86 days from his birthday. And again, when you write out blood sacrifice, like how he died on 6/7, it's 67 forwards, 86 in reverse. Notice also, actually, that 12 weeks in one day. 12 weeks in one day from his birthday. Blood sacrifice, also 121. And then human sacrifice, 67, 86. But, yeah, again, live by the numbers, die by the numbers. And no doubt since he was in the NFL, he was living by the numbers because the NFL is rigged by the same code all day, every day. And with regards to more NFL news, also in the news, Britt Reed, the son of Andy Reid, who supposedly hit the 5-year-old girl right before Super Bowl 55, Remember, the girl's name is Ariel Young, which equals 55, and Stadium drives 55, and the name Young is the surname of Steve Young, who's a Mormon, like Andy Reid, like Britt Reid. So there's something there about that. But again, this happened right before Super Bowl 55, the 5-year-old girl. And then the news comes back up that he's pleading not guilty to the charge on June 7th, 6-7. And remember, we talked about this in a big way with the Super Bowl. Kansas City 67. 67 is the 19th prime. Brady beat the two Missouri teams 19 years apart. The two Missouri athletes that died right before the Super Bowl, Leon Spinks and Butch Reed. One from Kansas City, one from St. Louis. Leon Spinks equals 55. The news of his death broke the night before Super Bowl 55. In history, he held Muhammad Ali to 55 career wins, upsetting him. So, and then also in the world of sports, Roger Federer, one of the top players in the world of tennis, getting older. He's approaching 40. He dropped out of the French Open in Paris on June 6th, 63 days before his upcoming 40th birthday. Paris is 63. The emphasized phrase in the news, listen to my body. Listen to my body, 63. Roger, 63. Roger Federer is also 79, like Society of Jesus. But again, it just goes to show, these guys are just pawns and puppets. I've talked for years about how Djokovic is Mr. 53. This year, he began the year by winning the... let's see. There it is. Novak Djokovic, 53 in the most pure cipher. He began this year by winning the 53rd Australian Open. The other year when he won Wimbledon, it was 53 days after his birthday. And he was facing Federer in that match. And Djokovic set himself up to be put away. And Federer had the easy shot to win the game. I mean, I used to be good at tennis when I was younger. I haven't played tennis a long time. I just went and played my nephew who plays, he played for his high school. And my nephew did beat me, but I haven't played tennis in forever. I've played since I was a kid, but I can still play tennis well. I'm just saying that the shot that Federer had, like, I could have still put that shot away. Djokovic would have been dead right there. Go back and watch the way Wimbledon ended with Djokovic and Federer. Federer had it. It was just so easy for a star tennis player. The shot, he just given this total gimme, but then he gave back a nice little shot right to Djokovic. Why would you do that? Aren't you trying to win the thing? You just needed one more point. You would have won the whole Wimbledon. But it was just so obvious. I was worried when the whole thing set up. I was like, oh my God, he's going to hit that. And I'm going to be wrong about Djokovic because I was all over Djokovic to win that Wimbledon in the 53 ritual. But I still remember the moment because I was watching the match. And when that happened, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be wrong. They can't. But then he just hit this nice little volley back to him. I was like, what? Come on, man. It's just, sports are a joke if you know how to play it, man. And I guess that's part of the reason that I see through it. Because I am a good athlete, and I am intelligent, and I guess most people are one or the other. They don't have both. There are a lot of good athletes, but they're dumb as rocks, so they don't, I don't know. It's like, it seems like good athletes, when they watch pro sports, they should be like, something doesn't make sense about these games. But I guess, I don't know, it's just a deficiency in one area, I suppose, but... Again, sports are nothing but crap, and they're all rituals, and yeah, he is getting older, but hey, look at Tom Brady, man. He can win Super Bowls at age 43. Federer should be able to play tennis at age 39. But yeah, just dropping out like this by the numbers. The Osaka dropout was by the numbers. Again, it's all ritual, it's all crap, and it's because it's all rigged. So, their whole careers are this way. Okay, and then there was the boxing match over the weekend, and a lot of you guys were like, who's going to win? Who's going to win? I don't know why you guys need to ask me who's going to win between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. I mean, that's not a question you need to ask. That's just a foregone conclusion. Floyd Mayweather's going to win. And they did the same ritual that they did with Conor McGregor, just like Mayweather won that. But I just want you to see how they line this crap up. So Logan Paul, from his birthday to the fight on 6/6 was 66 days later, right? 66 days later. And the fight was at the Hard Rock Stadium, which is 66. By the way, look at the gematria Logan Paul. He's got the 36 and 45 like IHS. He's got the 144 like Jesuit order. But you see the 50 in his surname in the most simple cipher? Again, undefeated's 50. Floyd Mayweather's 50-0. The McGregor fight was a big 50 ritual. When he fought Mayweather's 50 in the most pure cipher. Paul's 50 in the most simple cipher. And usually in sports, it's those ciphers on the left side. But the thing about, the 66 with the 50s is when you write out 50, it's 66, right? So he stays undefeated in this ritual on 6/6, 66 days after the victim's birthday, Logan Paul. And the one other thing that was interesting about this is you could also say it was Paul's 67th day of his age, which is the 19th prime number. And Floyd has that gematria of 19 and 26, right? So he's fighting Floyd Mayweather, undefeated boxer. It wouldn't have mattered if he lost because it's just an exhibition match, but even in the exhibition match, he still wins and stays 50-0 against, he stays undefeated against the guy with the right name to stay undefeated against. So somehow there was tons of money on that. It's like, how can there be? Well, it doesn't matter. But yeah, again, it's just it's more news by the numbers, and again, you guys, I just got to keep saying the same thing. It's like I want the world to wake up, but I just see the world's not going to wake up, man. They're not. I mean, they might eventually wake up, but they're not going to wake up anytime soon. And it doesn't matter how many more things we call out, and how many more perfect patterns we identify, and dates to circle, and look out for this to happen, because it just keeps happening, and nobody cares. Go down to Texas and Louisiana right now. How many people know about weather warfare in 52? And they should know, because we've talked about their states and weather warfare probably more than any other. And again, it happens to them again. So, I feel like at this point I gotta figure out how to get the truth seekers who are awake and get it organized. And we're trying to do that with Free to Find Truth, but you guys don't really want to. I mean, shout out to Bart in Chicago. Bart's got it going on with a group of people in Chicago. But again, I was thinking that when we started this, there'd be a whole lot more things happening nationwide in cities, and people getting organized and networking and using the website. But at this point, it's like, okay, I just feel like, and I'm a year away from being able to do this, because I'm stuck here where I am right now until Sweet Lady's done with school. I'm not going to abandon Sweet Lady, but in a year she will be done. And I guess I'll just keep doing this in a year in case a miracle happens and all of a sudden everybody does wake up to Gematria, or we figure out how to present it in a way that we haven't been, or a better way than we have for all these years. But all I want to do is just go get the piece of land and say, listen, you guys, here's a nice plot of land. You're welcome to come here. If you're fucking crazy, I'm going to shoot you. I don't want to do that, though, but just, if you guys, I just want to start a place where, like, listen, if you want to come have a community and grow food and, just enjoy life here and be around like-minded people, intelligent people, caring people, thinking people who care about more than themselves, people who want to have organic food, I just imagine, like, if you had this cool community, you play games there, you have a good time together, that's what I want to do. But I'm not going to be able to go after that unless I wanted to do it here in Yakima. But I really don't think this is the right spot, Yakima, Washington. I mean, there's a lot of things that are good about here, but I feel like it's too far north. I feel like you got to be closer to the equator. So, and I also feel like America's not the spot. That gentleman, Tim, if you guys didn't see, Tim was with us at the Moda Center in Portland. He's originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but now he lives down on the border of Ecuador and Colombia, and he loves it down there, and he grows food, and he says land's really cheap. So with the resources that have come in, it sounds like we could buy a decent amount of land in that area, and I'd be happy to do that. And everything's cheaper down there, so I think that's what the timeline is for me now. It's just a year from now, when Sweet Lady's done with school, I'm going to really get her on board with the idea of leaving the country and, setting up a space and saying, look, we got a well here, we got places to live, we got land to grow food. And like Tim said, he said Ecuador is already abundant with good, healthy food, and cost of living's very low, so seems like the ideal thing. And because the whole pipe dream of waking up people and changing things in this nation. I mean, again, you just see that it's just not in people, and that's also why I've been out on the corner and spending so much time outside, just engaged. I'm. It's not that I expected really anything different than what's happened, but I've kind of just been proving my point. Is just these masses are gone, man. They don't care about anything. They watch TV. That's all they care about. What's on the TV is what they care about. That's their truth. That's their God. That's what they follow. That's what they get on their knees for, and that's not going to change unless the TV's taken off. So that's why I've always said we got to overthrow the TV stations, but I don't think many people are down for that. I don't think many at all. So got to do what's realistic and smart. And again, to me, the best course of action is the same one that I had when I was 18 years old. Get the fuck out of this country, go to a better place, and be away from all the fat slobs and super programmed people that live in the U.S. And I mean, those kind of people might be all over the world, but if you're listening to Tim, like he was saying, he's like, there's not that many fat people down there. Most Americans that go down there lose a lot of weight because they eat healthier and they're not around all the processed junk. But yeah, so again, that's what I'm thinking right now. And yeah, I guess I'll finish up this third book too, and maybe it being shorter will entice more people to support it. But yeah, I just got my stats for last month's sales. So last month I sold, I think it was 152 more copies of the book, and that's great. I'm glad 152 more people got the book, but again, I was just hoping that now that it was in physical form and it was out there on websites, this thing would sell like hotcakes. It's like up to 5,500 total sales now. It's right around that area, 5,600. It's something like that. So it got up to 5,000 in the first 2 months, and it's just sold 100 and some copies each month after. But that's not that much money because I only get a few dollars when it sells through these major publishers per copy. But the good news is that kind of money, I think it could pay the bills in a big way down in a cheaper place like Ecuador and Colombia, but not up here in the U.S. It's not paying any bills. So anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. I just watch this stuff happen every month. It's frustrating. It's just like, look, more weather warfare, more crazy earthquakes, more 52, and somehow everybody still thinks it's a coincidence. What a nation of dopes I live in. And yeah, anyhow, I'm going to leave it there. Hop over on the Patreon for all the sports enthusiasts. And Rambo's got another killer decode. If Rambo wants to do it tonight, he's welcome to, but I did contact him. He said he can just wait till the radio show. But hey, Rambo, if you change your mind and you want to do it tonight, happy to do a live stream with you tonight. I can't wait for Rambo's next decode. I really think what Rambo put together last week really... I'm mad at myself. I'm like, how didn't I can connect the dots like that? How come I didn't see that? But his thing that he had last week with the Amazon and the nooses and the destruction of the rainforest, I mean, it was just so good. So, and I guess that's part of the other reason I wouldn't mind being down there. I would like to see what's going on in the Amazon with my own eyes. I would like to live stream every day, in front of the Amazon destruction and just get that out there for the world. Is anybody doing that? Is anybody like down at the Amazon every day, just like video recording the destruction and saying, look at what we're doing, people. Look at what we're doing. But, yeah. Possibly be back with Rambo tonight, but if not, we'll be back with Rambo tomorrow for the TFR show. It is already Wednesday tomorrow. And, yeah. Anyhow. So, yeah, we'll leave it there, you guys.